Welcome, this is Shakti Carola Nevran, your online astrologer. And sorry I cancelled our get-together yesterday. I have a cold coming on, so I don't know how fluid I am going to be today, but I thought I'd give it a try. So I want to talk about the upcoming full moon in Cancer. So in general, you are probably aware that everybody is kind of knowing when the full moon is happening, and the reason for that is because it's visible, it's up there. So in our perspective from the Earth, it actually looks like the moon has the same size than the sun, which of course objectively isn't true, but our perspective counts for something. So because the moon from here has the same size than the sun, we have solar eclipses, so the moon can cover up the sun. So whenever we have a full moon, we kind of are aware of it because we might not sleep as well as at night. The cats are loud out there. There are more accidents on the streets. So the emotions in general are higher. So this full moon is going to be kind of an especially strong one because the moon is in its own sign, in Cancer. So it's happening exactly January 12th at 3:34 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's happening 22 degrees in Cancer. So whatever we're going to discuss about Cancer qualities will hold especially true for you if you have any planets in Cancer, or in Capricorn, or in Aries, or in Libra, which are the signs in square to it. So, but nevertheless, I do believe we all do feel the full moon, so it's always worth to discuss it. So what's happening with the moon going through the months, through the whole cycle of evolution, through the zodiac and all the signs and what they symbolize. So with the new moon, we have kind of a new start on a new cycle in our evolutionary spiral. So with the full moon, the moon has reached its fullest waxing potential. So it's kind of the brightest reflecting the sun. And you have heard me talk about the wave in the ocean correlating with our sense of personality, our self, and the tip of the wave, which according to Carl Jung is 5 to 10%. So that we relate to the sun. So we are aware actually of who we truly are 5 to 10%, if we're lucky. And then there's 90 to 95% in the unconsciousness, which is relevant for what I want to discuss with you today, because Cancer and the moon is ruling what's under the surface of our consciousness, our how we know ourselves. So the moon kind of opens up that connection to our intuition, to memories, might be childhood memories, might be even prior lifetime memories. So whenever we have a moon actualization, like with the moon in Cancer is happening this time around, it's like there's a channel going from the top of the wave all the way going down in the belly of the wave, where all that unconscious material is stored. So we might actually feel more inspired on the high end things of possibilities, but we could also just feel very vulnerable and fragile and more reactive as usual. So I have no doubt that we all live our potential. The question is just where and how do we do that? So this is where an astrology reading goes a long way, because when we look at your blueprint, your birth chart, we can really look at all the tools, all the potentials you brought with you into this lifetime. I'm sorry. So as an evolutionary astrologer, which is the astrology I'm practicing, it's really the astrology of freedom, of conscious choice. So it's not about predicting the future, and I'm not a fortune teller, And I firmly believe the future is not set in stone. So it's really up to us how we want to navigate and what choices we make. But that is solely based on our state of consciousness. So these little forecasts I'm doing for you is really about you becoming more aware what's available for you on that variety of manifestations of a certain potential, from the low end to the high end. So with full moon, the low end would be to be agitated, super sensitive, reactive. High end would be to be really in tune, in connection with the deeper layers of your own unconsciousness, maybe even all the way down into the ocean consciousness, which is a collective, which is a divine, which is all that is. So that's why I find the metaphor of the wave so helpful and potent, because it really gives us a good image of how we, as this little wave in the ocean, are an individual entity, but simultaneously we are the ocean. We are part of the ocean by definition. So I think it's a very powerful way to keep striving to lower that line of self-identity, to include more unconscious material, to tap into the ocean consciousness through meditation, through creativity, through music. So these are all worthy ventures. So the full moon is in its own sign in Cancer. So it's kind of an invitation to really connect deeper with unconscious material. It's an invitation to really use our emotions as our guidance system. If you have heard about the law of attraction, it's all about that our emotions are actually really teaching us if we are in the flow with things, if we go with the river, with the flow of the river, or if we are in resistance. And when we are in resistance, things usually get harder. We fight the wave, we fight the current of the river. And question is how successful we can really be with that. So it's always good to really realize where we are and to surrender, to let go with what is. So this full moon also is very close to the Mercury turning direct a few days before, on January 8th. And then the full moon is part of a grand trine, as we call it. The grand trine just connects three other symbols and principles, Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto, and that's happening exactly on the full moon. So in general, we say trines are easy-flowing, harmonious connections. So a grand trine is kind of when we have this easy flow connecting from one planet to the next, to the next, to the next. So Jupiter as a planet of expansion, getting out of the box, doing something new, in order to be more successful, more of who we truly are, pushes that energy over to Uranus. So Jupiter says, okay, push out of your box and do it now. Uranus, a sudden interruption of continuity into a new level of consciousness. So Uranus puts his rebellious energy in, and then there's Pluto on the next corner. So Pluto is a god of transformation, of death and rebirth. So therefore we can say, even if it's not a square, which really would push things right in our face, but nevertheless, with such a figure, this triangle, it's a strong full moon. And it gives us a lot of potential to change according to what our deepest intentions and desires and passions are. So also Mercury enters Capricorn. So after turning direct, now Mercury can move forward again, which will be helpful around computer issues, complication with flights, suitcases not arriving, that kind of thing. So I'm sorry. So Mercury going forward in Capricorn is a good thing. And then we also will have a Venus-Jupiter conjunction later that day. So Venus, the goddess of love, harmony and beauty, Jupiter, the king of the Roman gods. So there is a kind of royal energy coming in, an energy of dignity, of wanting to express ourselves more deeply in our relationships. So it could also mean that we meet somebody if we're single, or we might meet somebody we become friends with in the long run. So that's all happening around this full moon. So let me see. I usually give you I'm going to keep it short today. I feel my voice is going. So anyway, I want to give you a short idea how you can support yourself with those energies. First of all, take care for yourself. Connect with your inner child. Nurture that inner gentle heart, that sensitivity inside of yourself. And a way to do that with gemstones is to do that with moonstones, if you have any. So moonstones, labradorites are wonderful stones. They kind of balance the emotional body and simultaneously connect us more with what's in the belly of the wave. So it's definitely a soothing, nurturing, wonderful stone to have. And actually, if they're created very different, but in what they bring to our energy field very similar, are pearls. So pearls, first of all, they're very fashionable. I mean, you can wear a pearl necklace with a t-shirt and jeans, and you will look dressed. So you don't have to have the little black cocktail shirt or dress in order to look dressed. Just put on a pearl necklace and you really upgrade how you look. And on the metaphysical level, pearls are created by that irritation in the shell. So when they're naturally grown, it's kind of a piece of sand getting into the oyster, and it irritates the flesh, and then the flesh or the oyster creates that pearl around that irritant. So as a result of how the entity deals with that irritation, something beautiful comes out. And that, I think, is a wonderful message of pearl, that we can come through hard times and challenging times and sensitive times, and something beautiful can grow out of that. So in general, pearls are balancing, nurturing, and help us along in that process of making lemon juice out of lemons. That's the idea here. Okay, so I don't see any questions here. Make sure you like my video if you like it, and leave me a comment. I will always get back to the page and answer your comments. So it's always good to see you and hear from you. So all the best to you, and I'm probably gonna see you on Saturday for the weekly forecast coming up. Okay, aloha and namaste. All the best to you.